Hello everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. And today, sit a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. So we have a little bit of a dynasty going, I would say. We won the cup 3 years in a row, which is not something that has happened in the league since the 80s. So, at least in real life. So, this is where we are right now. Okay. I thought that I did not make those offers, but okay. Sorry about that. So, I'm poor again, and I'm gonna need a little bit of luck on the injury front so that I can get by. So, first things first, I scored 45 points for a total of 234, so that's where I'm at. And my trainer retired, so I had to hire a new one. He has a 17 rating, so he's pretty good. We have a bunch of news to go through, so let's go ahead and go through that real quick, and then we'll slowly go into what's what. So at the start of June, there was a trade. So Buffalo and Detroit made a trade where Joe Corvo and Mike Rupp are going to go to Buffalo in exchange for Keith Carney and Igor Knyazov. I would say that probably Buffalo got the upper hand in there. Joe Corvo is not that great of a defenseman, but he has some offensive upside. And he's also 8 years younger than Carney, so that definitely plays a part into my evaluation here. Then there's been a couple coach changes. So Butch Goring lost his job in Calgary, and he's replaced by Tom Rennie. And then Jim Schoenfield is fired in Carolina, and ironically, he is being replaced by Peter Laviolette. And I say ironically because Peter Laviolette did coach the Hurricanes in real life. Then there's been a little bit of a kind of a minor deal between the Wild and the Avalanche. The Wild traded Eric Daze to the Avalanche for Lawrence Nicollet. So probably not a trade that's going to go down as a blockbuster by any means. Right, then there's been a bunch of retirements. So Ron Francis in Pittsburgh has retired at age 41. Kevin Hatcher in Washington retired as well. Well, I think he was with Toronto actually when he retired, but Washington is retiring his number. Phil Housley retires as a Shark at age 40. Jyrki Lume retires from the Canucks at age 37. Al McInnes retires at age 40, and the Flames are going to retire his number. And then surprisingly, I was a little surprised by that, Steve Sullivan in New Jersey retires. He was only 29, so at 29 years old, he is retiring. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now we have two rookies that have reached 20 years old, so I am giving them a contract. Patrick Eves, who might actually see some action. And then Jakob Klippis, not sure yet. We'll see if he develops or not. So I have a few holes in my lineup, especially on D. I'm pretty thin. And as you saw, I tried to make some signings, and I kind of retracted them for various reasons. Alright, so the money's free again, so I am going to attempt to get Kasparaitis again. And Rick Tallender I wanted to get, I forgot to uncheck the box for restricted free agents. And in reality, it would cost me draft picks, but I don't have draft picks, so I feel like it's cheating to go that route, so I try to not do it. So we are going to come here, transactions, free agents, and we're going to look at D-man that I can sign and that are not UFAs. And then, as you can see, it's pretty slim pickings here. And wait a minute. Oops, I unchecked the wrong box. Okay. Okay, so it's still pretty slim pickings. So Nicholas Avlid is probably the best option, and he used to play for us, but I cannot afford him. Probably the same thing with Sami Salo, so the next best option is pretty much Darius Kasparaitis. So we are going to... Oh, you're not interested? He's not interested anymore. Okay, that's probably because of what I did. What about Sami Salo? Can I bring him back? How much does he want? Oh, wow! I might be able to afford him. What about Nicholas Avlid? While I'm at it. Yeah, it's gonna be too. I might not be able to afford him. Let's go for Sami Salo. Hopefully I can get him back, because I don't have a lot of depth on D. I already talked about that, so... So in real life, 2004-2005 is the season where that was cancelled for the lockout. The season is going to play out in the game here, so we are actually going to be playing hockey, and we're going to go for a 4th consecutive Stanley Cup. So let's start the off-season here. Alright, so Patrick Eves contract negotiate. Okay, and then the Rangers have offered us a trade. They want to trade us Jason King for Vaclav Nedorost. I'm going to reject this. I have a bunch of right wingers. I don't have a lot of left wingers left anymore. So we're going to go ahead and hold on to that for now. Alright, so I need to up my offer on Sami Salo. Apparently the Leafs are now the top dogs on it, and I cannot afford much more money than this. So hopefully that's gonna be good enough. I am hoping. I just need a warm body, to be honest. Are you kidding? Okay. Right, Patrick Eves sighing. No, I cannot go with your price. I'm going to have to abandon the idea. Alright, so Patrick Eves wants number 22. How about 44? No, it's taken. That's the number you used to have with the Sens. 42 is going to have to do. There you go. Alright, so I might have to look at a different option for a D-man. Let's take a quick look. Honestly, I don't need a great D-man. It's really just in case of injuries or something. about Kent Tuskins? Ugh. Okay, Alright, so I have to remove my offer here, then I have to come back here. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, let's go for Kent Tuskins instead of Sami Salo. Nicholas Avlid signs with the Montreal Canadiens. Well, another one of our players that we liked is going to be playing for the enemy. Gonna be playing for Montreal. I can't believe it. Alright, so Kent Tuskin signed with us, and that's fine. Alright. Okay, so I got what I needed here. I got a D-man. I just needed one D-man to feel a little bit better with myself. So sorry if I sounded a little scatterbrained. I just needed to get that out of the way. So now that that's done, we are going to be moving along a lot faster here. And we are going to be hoping for some greatness ahead. Not a lot going on in the world of hockey right now. Ooh, wow, that's a big, I don't know who or what, but there's been a trade. Oh, that's a big trade. Wow. Alright, so there's been a trade between the Trashers and the Stars. So the Stars have sent Jere Lehtinen and John Sim to the Trashers in return for Danny Eatley and Turner Stevenson. So obviously it's pretty much Jere Lehtinen for Danny Eatley. John Sim and Turner Stevenson are going to kind of cancel each other. Although John Sim is probably a little bit better than Turner Stevenson. So wow. Oh, Jere Lehtinen really didn't have a good season last year. Only 27 points. Danny Eatley had 50 points. That's an interesting trade to me. Wow. Okay. So Danny Eatley moved just like in real life. He moved, except not to the same team. There is no way in hell that I am going to go and get Danny Eatley. I think most Ottawa Senators fans would feel the same. So Dale Warchuk made it to the Hall of Fame. Gary Suter as well. John Tonnelly makes it to the Hall of Fame. And Steve Larmer as well. Alright, so August is right around the corner. Or actually, we're already in it. Oh, and then there's been a trade between Montreal and Vancouver. Ooh, so I thought that Montreal was preparing the after Patrick Roy, but I guess not. So they sent Marty Turco and the rights to David Hale to the Canucks for Brian Allen and Andrew Sauer. Huh. I think Marty Turco is probably the best player in that trade, although Brian Allen still has some untapped potential. We'll have to see. So Montreal not afraid to deal a goaltender here. Oh, you know what? They probably have Carey Price, that's right about to show up. Carey Price was drafted in 2005, so they should be fine. I guess it depends when Roy decides to retire, so Volchenkov is ready to come back to action, thankfully. Then we have a trade proposal from the Bruins who want to trade us Martin Grenier for Vaclav Nedoros. I'm going to say no. Too bad that Grenier didn't have a little bit more potential. I might have accepted otherwise because I am thin on D. Now, trade proposal from the Carolina Hurricanes. We want to trade me Jeff Irma for Vaclav Nedoros. Wow, Nedoros is popular. Everybody wants him. But they are all offering me players that have no chance of seeing any NHL action. Alright. Oh, Volchenkov almost back. Yeah, it's been a long road for him. And Volchenkov is now officially back. Welcome back, A-Train. Alexei Yashin is losing ability. I don't like that. Alright, so now we are starting to get scouting reports again. And we are in September. Of course, we're gonna go ahead and play the preseason as usual. And I apologize if you hear a very whiny cat in the back of my recording ear. So I have a cat that really wants to go outside, but that we will not let outside. And he's not too happy about it. Alright, there's been another trade between Phoenix and Edmonton. Alright, so Dean McCammon and the rights to Kirill Safronov are going to the Oilers for Pascal Dupuis and Alex Henry. Okay, alright. Of course, Dean McCammon played a number of years for the Sens back in the day. In real life, not in the game. Then there's been a trade between Buffalo and Detroit again. So Yuka Antonen and Dmitry Yushkevich are going to the Red Wings for Scotty Upshall, and Igor Knyazov is moving back to Buffalo. I guess Buffalo regretted trading him, so they traded for him. And then Scotty Upshall, Dmitry Yushkevich. Alright. So Buffalo and Detroit made two trades between each other, with one player going both ways. Then there's been a trade between the Stars and the Blue Jacket, and Columbus is sending Jonas Oglund and Wojtek Polak to... Jonas Oglund and Wojtek Polak are going to the Blue Jackets for Antti Laaksonen and Rick Jackman. Sorry, I got that backwards at the start there. So yeah, I think that Dallas got the better of the deal here. So Dallas got Antti Laaksonen and they got Danny Eatley this offseason. They're going for a splash. They're trying to get a pretty decent season here, I would say. Alright, and then in 2 weeks, the preseason starts on that season that never was in real life. It really sucked as a hockey fan to lose that season. Especially the Sens were pretty good back then too, so... Oh, another trade between the Oilers and the Maple Leafs. So Toronto gets Brad Lukowicz for Jonas Nordquist. Lots of trades, I like it. Of course, the Danny Eatley, Jere Lehtinen trade is the biggest one. But still, I like some movement around. Alright, in less than a week, the preseason starts, and we are going to start in Chicago against the Hawks. Alright, I guess it is time. So I apologize as usual. This is the part where I go through everybody and that I recall everyone. Oh, he's already in Ottawa. Kentuskins. Yeah, he is. Then Elias, that's okay. Then Marsh Brooks, like, you are coming to Ottawa, buddy. Same for Niederrost. Oh yeah, I still have Ladislav Nagy. That's good. I need a few bodies, really. Alright, I think I have everybody in Ottawa now for training camp. So we are about to start training camp. Alright. Alright, so Derek Morris is not in game shape. I'm going to criticize him internally. Alright, and now I have to assign numbers. That's the part that really sucks about this. Alright, Ladislav Nagy would prefer number 23. There you go. Brooks like would prefer number 21. Yeah, I'm not giving 13 to Niederrost. 40 it is. I'm not giving 13 to Christoph Schubert. 2 it is. There you go. Karel Rakunik can have number 4. That's fine. There you go. Yay! Alright, we're done with that. So Derek Morris went to hung out with Wendell Clark over the summer. Alright, we are about to play our first preseason game against the Chicago Blackhawks. So let's take a look at their lineup here. So in net, it's Corey Crawford and Scott Clemenson. On D, Steve Duchesne is still in the league at 39 years old. He's only a one-star player. So Steve Duchesne, Duncan Keith, Kim Janssen, Brent Seabrook, Chris Chelios around at 42 years old, still 5 stars. Numlin, DJ Smith, Tuomo Ruutu, Miller, Morrow, Dowd, Richie Hendrickson, Slater, Ronick, Taylor, Nordstrom, Donald Odette, Tom Fitzgerald, Dan Cleary, and Jones. What's his first name? Ty Jones. So the D's are right, but yeah, there's a few holes in that lineup. I believe we should be able to beat them. So for the first game, we're gonna go with Tim Thomas against Corey Crawford, and go Sens go. Even though it's only preseason, we still want to win. And we won 3-0. Alright, good start to the preseason. We outshot the Blackhawks 55-20. Corey Crawford was the first star of the game despite losing with 52 saves. Sheldon Surrey was the second star with 3 assists. And Zdeno Chara was the third star with a goal. So we opened up the scoring in the second period. It was Patrick Elias who scored the first goal of the preseason from Sheldon Surrey and Joe Thornton. Then Zdeno Chara made it 2-0, assisted by Sheldon Surrey. And then in the third period, Alexei Yashin scored in an empty net from Sheldon Surrey, and it was 3-0 the final score. Mario Lemieux has a good game, 38 years old, 4-star player, 3 goals and an assist against Buffalo. Alright. And now we are going to be playing at home against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So let's take a look at them. No injuries there. Alright, so they have Jean-Sébastien Giguère and Ty Conklin in net. That's pretty good. Stefan Kronwall, I believe that was his name. Yeah, Stefan Kronwall, Richard Medvedchuk, Thomas Caberly, Karel Pilash, Brad Lukowicz, Ian White, Christian Backman, Brad Boyce, Ponikarovsky, Varlamov, David Moss, Alex Steen, Todd Fiedoruk, Karel Pieros, Todd Marchand, Yannick Perrault, Brian Smolinski, Steve Moore, Martin Jelena, Eric Cole, and Nick Antropov. That's not that great of a team. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. So Ty Conklin in net for Toronto, and we're going to go to Tim Thomas again. And we won 3-1. We outshot Toronto 38-30. Pavel Datsyuk was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Todd Marchand was the second star with a goal. And then Jason Spezza was the third star with 2 assists. 12,375 people in attendance for this preseason game in Ottawa. So we opened up the scoring in the first period. It was Pavel Datsyuk on the power play from Jason Spezza and Daniel Alfredson. Made it 1-0, but then Toronto tied the game, and it was tied at 1 after 1. Then nobody scored until the third period. Pavel Datsyuk scored his second of the game on the power play from Michael Ryder and Jason Spezza. And then Ladislav Nagy scored on the power play as well from Sheldon Surrey and Michael Ryder. 3-1 was the final score. And then we turn around and play the Bruins at home again. Oh, Mike Settinger, that I did not keep, set everything up tonight with 4 assists. against Vancouver. So Mike Salinger was signed by Columbus. Todd Bertuzzi has a good game, still with the Islanders. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Nashville. And strong night for Sergei Fedorov, who still plays for Detroit. 3.5-star player, 34 years old. He had 4 assists against Calgary. Alright, so now we are about to play Boston. So let's take a look at Boston there. Alright, so they do have an injury. Sandis Azalinch is hurt, so he's not going to be playing this game. So just by looking at the stars and everything, Boston does look like an alright team. So they have Yevgeny Nabokov and Tomas Vokoun in net. That's pretty good. John Michael Lyles, Azalinch Stewart, Don Sweeney, Jonathan Girard, Craig Rivet, Mike Van Ryn, Petrasek, Tanabe, Stumpel, Claude Lapointe, Frederic Modine, Keith Primo, Petrus Bergeron, Olden, Mike Ricci, Jokinen, Cherkowski, Murray, Viborny, and Sushinsky. A lot of... yeah, that's not a bad team. That's not a bad team. I think Boston might make the playoffs this year. So Tomas Vokoun in net for Boston. We are going to Ryan Metter. And we won 5-2. So we outshot the Bruins 41-20. Daniel Alfredson was the first star of the game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Brian McCabe was the second star with 3 assists. And Marian Hossa was the third star with 2 goals. 12,679 people in attendance for that one. So Marian Hossa opened up the scoring in the first period. Assisted by Pavel Datsyuk and Brian McCabe. So it was 1-0 Sens after 1. And then in the second period, Boston tied the game. But then Daniel Alfredson scored 23 seconds later from Karel Rakunek and Chris Phillips to make it 2-1 Senators. Then in the third period, Daniel Alfredson scored his second on the power play from Brian McCabe and Alexei Yashin. And then Marian Hossa from Tim Gleason and Brian McCabe made it 4-1. Then Boston scored again, so it was 4-2, and then Daniel Alfredson completed his hat-trick from Chris Phillips and Matt Cullen, made it 5-2 Senators. Yeah, I know, Daniel Alfredson had the hat-trick, I just talked about that. Thank you for letting me know, though. Alright, strong night for Brett Hull. So Brett Hull is now 40 years old. He's still a 3-star player, and he had a hat-trick against the Blackhawks in that preseason game. So Brett Hull is still able to put the puck in the net. Alright, so we are now playing at home against the Calgary Flames. Oh boy, they don't look too good on paper. There's some potential on the team, though, but it hasn't been reached yet. Right, so Craig Anderson and Levante Super in net. So Super is paid $1.67 million a year. And then Curtis Foster, Mark Pasmick, Mark Giordano, Tony Ludman, Kyle McLaren, Al Gil, Karpatsev, Dion Phaneuf, Brian Muir, Cowan, Janssen, Stillman, Bégin, Betts, Toms, Randy Robitaille, Kachuk Kobasu, Theo Fleury, Scott Thornton, and Travis Mullen. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough year for the Flames. Craig Anderson in net. No, what are you doing for the other team, Craig? And Ryan Metter for us. And we won 2-0. So we outshot the Flames 42-12. Chris Kelly was the first star of that game. He had a goal. Craig Anderson was the second star. Despite losing, he did make 40 saves. And Jørgen Janssen for Calgary was the third star, despite not getting any points. 12,980 people in attendance for this game. So Chris Kelly opened up the scoring in the first period from Jason Spezza and Martin Avlat. It was 1-0 Suns after 1. And then it stayed that way all the way into the third period, where Brian McCabe scored on the power play from Pavel Datsyuk and Alexei Yashin. 2-0 is the final score. Joe Thornton is day-to-day with a thigh muscle strain. Alright, so we are now about to play in Toronto against the Leafs. We just played them. Marian Gaborik has a memorable game playing for the Wild. He's 22. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against Pittsburgh. Big game for Marek Zidlicki playing for Nashville. He had 5 assists against Atlanta. 3-star player Marek Zidlicki. Martin Streckel lights the lamp in that same game for Nashville. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Too bad for them, it doesn't count, it's only preseason. Those were pretty good games. Alright, we are playing in Toronto. We just looked at their lineup, so we're not going to do that again. Ryan Metter in net for us. And Jean-Sébastien Giguère in net for Toronto. Ooh, we won 1-0. Pretty tight affair there. We outshot them 49-18. Jean-Sébastien Giguère was the first star despite the loss. He made 48 saves. Nick Antropov was the second star without any points. And Zdeno Chara was the third star with an assist. So the only goal of the game was scored in the first period by Matt Cullen, and it was short-ended from Zdeno Chara. And 1-0 is the final score. Alright, so we have 2 preseason games left on our plate here. So we are about to host the Phoenix Coyotes. So we're going to take a look here at their lineup. So let's see what Phoenix looks like. Right, so they have Nikolai Abibulin and it's David Leneveux, I think. Yeah. Right, and then McKenzie, Derek Walser, Nolan Pratt, Mathieu Dandonneau, Boris Mironov, Teppo Numinen on D. That's a little shaky. Shane Dunn, Brad May, Pascal Dupuis, Keith Tkachuk, Jean-Guy Trudel, Stu Barnes, Ryan Beda, Chris Draper, Alexei Zamnov, Daniel Bria, Mike Knuble, Timu Sedane, Mikael Samuelson, Jed Artmeyer, and Frederick Schustrom. That's not too terrible of a team, not too great. You should battle for a playoff spot. So Phoenix will send Nikolai Abibulin in net, and we are going to Ryan Miller. Oof, and we won 9-2. That was quite the offensive display for the Senators there. So we outshot Phoenix 48-24. Jason Spezza was the first star. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Pavel Datsyuk was the second star with 3 assists. And Marian Hossa was the third star with 2 goals and an assist. 13,110 people in attendance for that game. Alright, so we took a 4-0 lead into the first period. Karel Rakunik scored first from Martin Avlat and Sheldon Sourie. Then Patrick Eliash scored from Christoph Schubert. And Patrick Eliash from Tim Gleason and Mike Fisher. And finally, Jason Spezza on the power play from Pavel Datsyuk. That was 4-0 Sens after 1. Then Yashin scored from Alfredson and Chris Kelly. Marian Hossa from Pavel Datsyuk and Jason Spezza. And then Chris Kelly on the power play from Martin Avlat made it 7-0. Then Nolan Pratt scored for Phoenix, made it 7-1. Then at the start of the third period, Shane Doan scored, made it 7-2, but then we scored 2 more goals. Marian Hossa from Sheldon Sourie and Jason Spezza. And Jason Spezza from Marian Hossa and Pavel Datsyuk. 9-2 was the final score. What a trouncing. Alright. Alright, and we are now going to be playing the last game of preseason against the Pittsburgh Penguins. A thorn in our side for many years, but not so much lately. We've been able to tame the Penguins. So Yevgeny Malkin is not going to be playing this game. He's hurt. So Malkin, 18 years old. Of course, right now he's not developed. He's only a 1-star player, but he has a 5-star potential. Alright, so Marc-Andre Fleury, Dubilwix in net, Aucoin, Ference, Zanen, Hutchinson, Rosseville, Orpik, Finger, Tom Pody, Andy, Yager, Koltsov, Kostopoulos, Sorovi, Malone, Christensen, Harperger, Lemieux, Erdina, Patrick Sharp, McEachern, Trevor Letowski, and Morozov. So there's a few O's in that lineup right now. Of course, some of that is going to be fixed soon for Pittsburgh automatically because they have Malkin, and then next year they should have Crosby join the team, and they are going to be set for a long time. Unless they trade one of them or something. Alright, so about to play Pittsburgh for the last preseason game. So Wade Dubilwix in net for Pittsburgh, Tim Thomas in net for the Senators. Go Sens go! And we won 3-2 in overtime. Alright, so we went undefeated in the preseason. So 58-20 the shots in our favor. Alexei Yashin was the first star, he had 2 assists. Sean McEachern was the second star with 2 assists as well. And then the third star belongs to Marian Hossa with a goal and an assist. 12,463 people in attendance. So Sheldon Souris opened up the scoring early in the first period from Marian Hossa and Pavel Datsyuk. Then in the second period, Marian Hossa scored his 5th of the preseason on the power play from Pavel Datsyuk and Alexei Yashin. It was 2-0 Suns after 2. Then in the third period, Eric Christensen and Brooks Orpik scored to tie the game. And then it went in overtime, and then Bryant McCabe scored 51 seconds into the overtime period from Alexei Yashin and allowed us to go undefeated in the preseason. Ooh, that's not good. For Anaheim, Oleg Teredovsky is basically going to miss the entire season. He suffered a fractured skull against the LA Kings, and he's going to miss 8 months. Ouch. Henrik Sedin lights the lamp. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Florida. So Henrik Sedin is 24 years old, 3-star player now. And Joe Thornton's about to come back. Alright, so we didn't make a lot of moves or anything like that in this particular off-season. Again, it's the same story as usual. I'm strapped for cash. So I might be looking at picking up some waivers just to bolster, because I don't know if you saw, but if we go here and we check here, I only have 33 contracts, so that's not a lot. So I would like to pick up maybe 3 or 4 more players to bring that number up, depending on who's going to be put on waivers. So we're going to go ahead and see. So I'm going to go ahead and save my game. And of course, next time we play, it's going to be the first month of the season. That never happened in real life, and we'll see how the Sens do. But for now, I want to thank you for tuning in, and if you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.